So today we're talking about the band Tankard. They are part of the German Big Four of thrash, along with Sodom, Creator, and Destruction. And I know I say this a lot, but there's always like some kind of Big Four of something, but this is just what the label is. This is actually like the only one of these Big Four German thrash that I never really listened to because this band never really appealed to me. I always like thought of it as just one of those like thrash bands that all they do is sing about beer, and I guess that didn't appeal to me. But this is actually my first album I ever listened to by this band, Tankard, and it's called Pavlov's Dawgs. Came out September 30th, 2022, and this is album number 18 in their discography. So they have a long history of being a thrash band. They're actually like they date back to like Metallica days. I think their first one came out in like 1983 or something like that. So this band has been around a long time. They've been on different labels. I think this is the first album on their record label called Reaper Entertainment. And my first impression of this was I was actually kind of surprised, better than I thought it would be. I was expecting something like just generic thrash with everything about like drinking beer, but there's really only, I think, 2 or 3 songs just about alcohol, and the rest are talking about like different stuff, like different social issues and things like that. So this was actually not that bad. It was pretty good. They do some different stuff. It's thrash, but sometimes they have these like bass intros. Sometimes they're fast. Sometimes they're a little slower. They have like slower intros, and they do different stuff. So there's a lot of variety on this album. The overall tone of it is kind of fun, kind of energetic. There are a few songs where they do get like a darker tone, but it's kind of like more of like a fun band. That's kind of like the idea of it. It's like one of those like party bands. I think they were actually the original party band, to be honest with you. And they do inject a little bit of comedy into like their lyrics, so it's not like super serious, but they are a fun band. So let me talk about these. They released a few like videos and lyric videos. So, for example, the song Ex-fluencer. This was pretty cool. It's about like social media and like somebody who was an influence on social media and they left. But it's just old school thrash riffs. You got blazing solos. You got the mosh parts. You got the bass riff in the beginning, and it's a mid-paced to fast song. The vocals are very good. The vocals are very understandable, so you can kind of like listen along to the lyrics. And it's just a decent song, so that one's pretty good. Then Beerbarians, or Beer Barbarians, or something like that. I don't know how to say it. This one is pretty good. It's kind of like a bouncy song, and talking like the history of the band, so it's kind of a fun song. You got those cool palm muted riffs, the bass riffs. You do hear the bass on this album, so that's pretty cool. And then they had another video called Lockdown Forever. This is about just like the whole pandemic in general. This is a heavy song, just old school thrash metal. Just lots of heavy riffs. It's fast paced. It's just a real banger of a song. And the lyrics are just about the pandemic. So they talk the whole story about how people were hoarding toilet paper and stockpiling food, and then being stuck at home, listening to their record collection. It's a fun song. So that one was good. The opening track, Pavlov's Dawg, that one was okay. I think that was one of the songs that just straightforward, like about drinking beer and alcohol, having a good time. I think that one felt like a little generic, but I did enjoy the acoustic intro to that one, so that was cool. The bass intro was pretty cool. So that one was an okay song. Then they have some like darker songs. Diary of a Nihilist. It's just a heavier thrash, and I think on this song in particular, they move towards more of like a Slayer or Creator kind of a feel. And it's just like a dark song, dark lyrics about like seeing the world crumble. They get like a little technical on this song. It's fast, heavier thrash vocal. So if you like the heavier stuff like your Creator, that's a good song. Then we have Veins of Terra. This is more of a kind of like a fun song. It's a little slower. They kind of like slow the pace down. It's about like environmental stuff, climate change. And I like the drumming because they do incorporate like this like industrial hammer. That was pretty cool. So that was a good song. Dark Self Intruder, another one of the dark ones. very old school thrash. Talking about people with like an evil side. That one has like a clean guitar intro, these sustained power chords, some like power metal riffing, like super fast like playing. That one was pretty cool. That was like a little slower pace and it gets faster later. So that one was pretty cool. And the last track, On the Day I Die, it's a very dark song, kind of like lyrics about like knowing that you will die. And this is one of those songs where they kind of do the different stuff. They have the slow melodic intro, then like gets faster, the galloping thrash guitars, and it's a mid-paced song and it's very fast and it's thrashy. So in general, it's a decent album, and I wasn't really expecting that much from it, but it was a little better than I expected. This is a band that, like I was saying in the beginning, it didn't really appeal to me. This type of band, they have so many albums, so I never really bothered to listen to them. I might have listened to a couple of the early ones many years ago, but not a band that I really follow that much. But I thought it was decent. The production is decent. It's good. The songs are very catchy. So this is the kind of band that's a little more maybe accessible than a band like Creator or Sodom. They're a little more fun. I would say, like, if I would compare them to like the big four, like the U.S. big four, these would be more like the Anthrax, kind of like a little more like a fun, like uplifting kind of band. It's just a little more like comedy driven stuff. So I thought this was good. So if you're a fan of this band, I think you'll probably like it. But I don't think it's just anything out of the ordinary. Like, I don't think this is just like one of their best albums, or it's just like another one around. This is one of those bands that, I've heard people say that they kind of like just keep doing the same thing, but it's okay. My final score is a 7 out of 10. It's good, a little better than I thought. And let me know in the comments what you thought. And up next, I will have the new album by Drowning Pool. That one was okay, but we'll talk about that one tomorrow. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.